Deep in the dense, humid canopy of Southeast Asia, a 15-inch king cobra hatchling enters the world, and immediately its mother clocks out. She slides off into the undergrowth, leaving her offspring to navigate the forest floor entirely alone. Survival requires immediate distance from the nest. Every sibling wiggling nearby is equipped with the same lethal venom and a biological drive to find their first meal, even if that meal is their own brother or sister. At this stage, the snake lacks the features that define its royal title. There are no flared ribs and no signature silhouette. To any passing predator, it looks like any other small, harmless serpent. The hatchling's only defense is its striped pattern, serving as high-contrast camouflage against the leaf litter. It must remain invisible to avoid becoming prey for monitor lizards and foraging birds. Before it can claim any territory, this young snake must survive its most vulnerable weeks. It starts life at the bottom of the food chain, relying on stealth to stay alive in a jungle actively trying to eat it. Despite its name, the king cobra is not a true cobra. If you look at this black mamba, you're looking at a much closer genetic relative. It shares the same slender profile and high-energy hunting style as its mamba cousins. Millions of years ago, standard venom wasn't a sufficient deterrent in the prehistoric jungles of Asia. When every predator possesses a lethal bite, physical size and intimidation become the primary ways to avoid a fight. The ancestors of the king cobra developed an anatomical workaround: long, flexible ribs connected to specialized neck muscles. By contracting these muscles, the snake can flatten its neck and push the ribs outward, instantly doubling its visual width. This is a classic case of convergent evolution. True cobras developed an almost identical rib structure independently. Both species arrived at the same design because a wide, flared hood is the most effective way for a thin snake to appear too large to attack. The visual differences are subtle. True cobras often display these spectacle-shaped markings on the back of their hoods, a feature the king cobra never developed. Ultimately, the iconic hood is a prehistoric bluff. It is a biological mask designed to make a fragile animal look like the most dangerous thing in the forest. Over its first few years, the snake undergoes a massive physical transformation. Reaching lengths of 18 feet, it becomes the longest venomous snake on the planet, shedding its skin every few months to maintain its rapid growth. Most snakes are ambush predators, but the king cobra is an active hunter. It spends its daylight hours patrolling the jungle, pursuing its prey across both land and open water. Its primary tool is its forked tongue, which rapidly collects invisible chemical particles straight from the air and the ground. These gathered molecules are processed by specialized receptors, allowing the snake to track a specific trail with high precision. That target is almost always another serpent. Approximately 90% of the king cobra's diet consists of other snakes, often including species that are themselves highly venomous. To hunt other reptiles, its venom evolved into a specialized weapon. At a cellular level, the toxins are shaped to bind directly to the nerve receptors of other snakes, inducing rapid paralysis and total nervous system collapse. By combining massive size with high-resolution chemical tracking and reptile-specific toxins, the king cobra moves from being the hunted to the jungle's primary consumer of other snakes. Upon reaching maturity, the snake stops wandering and establishes a permanent territory. It patrols this area fiercely, treating any other large snake as either a competitor to be driven off or a meal to be consumed. During the mating season, two males may encounter one another. Instead of a lethal fight, they engage in a vertical wrestling match. They coil around each other, each trying to use their physical weight to pin the other's head to the ground. It is a rare moment of restraint for a cannibalistic species. They follow a strict biological rule: use physical strength to establish dominance, but never use the venom that would end the life of a potential rival. The female's behavior is equally unique. She is the only snake that actively constructs a nest, using her body to sweep leaves and forest debris into a mound that regulates temperature for her eggs. For 70 days, she remains wrapped around the mound. She does not hunt and she does not eat, sacrificing her own body mass to guard the nest against any predators brave enough to approach. At the peak of its life, every biological advantage the king cobra possesses, from its size to its territory, is directed toward a single goal: ensuring the next generation survives long enough to reach the forest floor. After 20 years, the physical advantages that once defined the snake's dominance begin to fail. The biological systems responsible for its growth and maintenance lose their efficiency. The skin shedding process, once a clean renewal, becomes patchy and difficult. Old scales cling stubbornly to the new ones, leaving the snake's skin dull and weathered, and its vision clouded by retained eye caps. Internally, the decline is just as severe. Reflexes that were once lightning fast begin to lag, and the venom glands no longer produce the volume of toxins required to instantly paralyze a large opponent. Because the king cobra's survival depends on being the most physically capable animal in its niche, this loss of speed and potency leaves the aging monarch without any secondary defense. The end arrives when a younger, healthier rival follows the chemical signature of the older snake. This new contender is in its physical prime, having tracked the scent particles left by the resident king for days. The older snake rears up and flares its hood, attempting the same intimidation tactic that has served it for decades. But against another king cobra, the bluff is useless. The younger snake recognizes the weakness behind the display. The younger rival's strikes. It lands a bite that delivers a massive dose of neurotoxins, which move through the older snake's bloodstream and begin the process of total paralysis. As the former king's nervous system shuts down, the younger rival begins to feed. It consumes the older snake whole, recycling the mass of the previous generation into its own growth. By specializing in a diet of other snakes, the king cobra enters a biological loop. In a jungle where it has no other natural enemies, the only predator capable of ending a king's reign is another king.